Hi, welcome to the episode 4 of JavaScript Machine Coding Round series, where now again we are going to three problem related to code JavaScript logic. Second one is the async behavior, and third one is the polyfill. So let's go to our first problem for today is which covering the real data manipulation. So the problem is today one is little bit more complex and more intense, so keep focused. Okay, so and as we go episode by episode, and the complexity of this equation will get increased. So let's start writing the our first problem first is convert number words to actual numbers. Okay, so as this is describing that we passed only the string like 127 like this, and this will convert into actual number of in the number format. So and this is the most lovable and most asked interview questions for the machine coding round. Okay, so uh, so what is the problem? Because basically this is the to convert number words to the actual number. So for example, if the array having input like this, just 125 and 69, then what will the output will be 175 and 169, right? This is the expected output. So why interviewer ask this question? So this question covers many area of how we understand JavaScript, right? So how we are parsing the string, right? It is 175, and how we'll parse this string and convert it into the number first. Second hand, multi-word expression. So they are a multi-word expression, right? One expression to X. So how will convert into numbers? How will you place that ones, you tens, the hundred? So first, in order to solve this problem, we have to create a dictionary where one will denote numeric one. And it's all manual process. No any package, no any tool to convert this one into one, and like this 100 into 100 and tens into tens like this. So we have to do all by our own hand. Okay, and 2 4 2 4 2 like 2 4 2 4 2 like this, and so on. And for tens, then will go like this. Sorry, up to 19. Regularity up to 19, and then after 19, 20 will be converted to 20 up to 90. To 90, up to 90. And when there is a case of 100, what you have to do? We have a multiplier kind of. When there is a 100 comes in the string, you just have to multiply with 100. So this is the format to convert a string to number: 1 to 1, 2 to 2, like this, up to 9, to 9, and then from 10 to 19 it will go like this: 10, 11, 12, 13 to 19, and for 20 to 90 it will go like this: 20, 30, 40, 50, like this to up to 90, and 100 we have to just multiply the number with the 100. Fine, let's go. So now what we will do here, we have to loop through each word. Again we have to loop through each word, grabbing each word from the input from this array first index, and then track the running total. So when we breaking it down and just converting to number and then adding up, we have to track it to which place we are. For example, what we grab over here is 175. Then we have to getting 100, then we have to 75. So at the end we have to convert this all into the number, and then we have to sum up. So we have to track at which level we are. For example, we first grab this, calculated this 75 now, but it is 175, so we have to keep track of at which place we are. We have to make it to 175, not just 75. So this is the tracking for, we have to keep track on this case as well. When we have 75, then we don't have to add 100, we have to multiply it. Okay, so when there is a 75, we have to do the multiplication apply. We will show how this work. And third one is to, after calculation done, we have to push into the final result array. Okay, so what we have to do, first our total is 0. Our total is 0. Now for each word in tens, what you have to do, if word is unit of tens, what you have to do, total plus equal to value if word is 100, then just do to total asterisk equal to 100. Sorry, asterisk equal to 100. Just multiply the number with 100. Okay, now and the last return total. Fine, time for the final code. Okay, so let's jump and write our logic. Dismiss. So what we have to do, we start with our function name. So our function name is words to numbers. We're grabbing the string, we're grabbing one string at a time, and this is coming from a loop. We'll show you where the loop start, where we are running the loop. So first let's target to convert this into a number. Okay, suppose by string we're getting this from a loop, this number, this string is over here. So let's construct the unit. So first unit will be units. So first will be like 1 to 1 to don't mistake in the spelling because you take your result 4 to 5 to 5 6 to 6 7 to 7 8 to 8 9 to 9. So unit to be 490. Okay, next now when the unit still over here, now unit now for example, let's take we already which is out at 90. This is already, let's call it okay. So how do you read? Now let's say 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 70. Now, for example, let's take we already which is out at 90. This is already, let's call it okay. To write the logic. So let's, as we write in the pseudo code, we have to make a total to 0. Now let now you need to parse this, right? So first what you do, grab the string to lower case to trim to split with a space. So grab the string, make it to lowercase, trim the space from the last, and split with the single space. Okay. So now this way we'll get our array on all small case. Now the testing part comes. So we need to run a loop, right? So for let w or word of parts are this one. If this words falls under units, so what you have to do? If this falls under units, you have to do total plus equal to total plus units word. So keep close what we are doing over here. If this falls, if this, for example, unit is what? 1 to 9, right? And according to our example, 1. What we get first? 1. So we get unit as 1 here. 1. We get our first 1. Then total, we get total plus unit 1. Let's get this one added to this one. Okay, fine. Now else if it's found in the teens word, then what you have to do? Add to the teens to the total. Fine. Else if found in the tens, then total is equal to tens word of add to the total, to the tens will be added to the total. If word having 100, what is the 100? What you have to do? What you have to do? You have to total multiply by 100 as we show in our pseudocode. Now and finally we have to return the total. So now what happening over here is, I want to grab your attention. Keep closer to the monitor and I will tell you what happening. For example, let's do a dry run over here. Okay. So our let's suppose our input is 175. 175. So we get here 175. Our data is ready with all the units defined for units 10, teens, and tens, and in 100 we have to multiply by 100, right? Now for this 175, let's go over here. Let's break down 100. So it will be like this. 175. This, the parts will become like this. Come on, this one. 175. Fine. Now the loop will start. What we get first one? 1. It's going to this one here. 1. Oh, it's 1 over here. We got this one. Total. The total become 1. Fine. So far so good. Total become 1. Now this will not go this one bypass. Now in the next iteration it got 100. Fine. So it's directly go inside. This will get bypassed, this will get bypassed, this will get bypassed, and this will word is equal to 100. So what will happen over here is total equal to 1 into 100. That's become what? 100. So finally total become 100. Fine. Now I can go for this third iteration. So let's, in the third iteration it's got 70. So it's looking for in the unit, it's bypass because there is only 70. Then go in the teens, no, it's bypassed. Now it's going the tens. 50, 70 you got over here. The tens, it's got 70. So what happening over here is total currently is on 100. So total become currently total having 100. So 100 plus 70. Fine. So this will become 170. So far so good. Now total is on 170. Now iteration, which is 5. So 5 falls under which units? So it's drop 5 over here. So our total is on where? Total is on 170. So total is equal to 170. 170 plus 5 becomes 175. And now, and its loop ends because we have no more element inside this array, and we come out from this loop, and then in the last the total get returns with the value of 170. So in this way we get our string converted into the actual number. Is we pass it as 175 175, and we get our number 175. And this, in this way, it's generating the actual numeric number out of the string. Okay, now time for to call this function from a loop. The time to call this function from a loop. So we grab the array. Now what we done from, we make a loop using the map function. So, and the map function we provide an array. Let our array name is, function name is, array name will be anything. Function name is what we write over here. This words of number, words to number. Sorry, words to number. Okay, fine. Now time to console.log. Console.log. And what we'll do, we'll provide the array. Convert array, and here we pass the array what you from our input. You got some typo. Wait. What's two numbers, you know? And look, we got our result: 175, 175, 269, 269. Yeah. So in this way, we'll got our result. So we can play with some other example as well. For example, like pass instead of these two, let's do 101, 101, fine, and or 9, sorry, 9, 9, or 99, 99, perfect, and 200, perfect. If you don't pass anything, it's will return 0, which is the total initial value. So we are done with our first question. Now let's jump to our second question. Control A, which is async category. Delete this one now. Now the problem 2 is, this one is very mostly asked question. I can see on the internet that this question is the favorite, one of the favorite questions for any IT company, any service-based IT company. They ask this question a lot with lots of variation. And the question is, you might know. If you don't know, no worries. API retry. Now you get what is the question is. API retry logic with limited attempts. We are hitting an API with limited attempts, and this is the essential cognizant and ltimindtreeinterview favorite topic for the interview. So the problem is, let's write down the problem. This is the title of the problem, and the problem is, we're going to create a functions that tries to call an API, and if it failed, try 3 times. We just give it 3 times with a 1 second of gap between 2 attempts. So if hit 3 times to an API, and there is a gap of 1 second between the hit, not consecutive hit. One hit fails, pause for 1 second, then try another hit. If fails, pause for 1 second, try another hit, and if all fails, return failed. So this is our help. So just jot down what is the problem. Create a function function that tries to call an API. Okay, if it fails, try 3 times, waiting 1 second between attempts, and if all attempts fail, return failed. This is the question, right? Now I suppose you get the question. Now what is the output of this question? So the output will be attempt 1, attempt 2, attempt 3. Now it's a failed scenario. Attempt 1 failed, attempt 2 failed, attempt 3 failed, and finally failed returns. And if any of resolved or succeeded, then we no need of these two, or no need of this one, or no need of fail. Okay, so this is the failed scenario, the most failed scenario. Now after asking this question from the developers, what company are expecting, what they are expecting. This is the real world async problem, right? So whenever we try to make an API hit, it fails. Sometimes it's fail, but we need that data, right? If it's fail, it doesn't mean that we don't need this data anymore. Then we have to hit 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, because suppose there is a dashboard, and dashboard we have to show some data, or there are multiple API calls happening on to show different chunk of data on the different positions. So if hit goes to the backend and it fails, that doesn't mean that we don't have to show this area. We must have to make another hit until and unless we have completed our attempts to fetch the data from the backend. So it might be some network latency, or some glitches, or some temporary problems by which the API call get failed. So here reviewer is testing your what? Retry logic, how you are writing your retry logic. Next is the how you are handling the errors. If there is something error, how you are handling. And then the robustness of your API, okay, and the how you're communicating with the backend. So there is a backend and front end communication is happening over here. So how you're communicating to the backend also. So there is lots of areas covering. This question is covering lots of area, your logic, your backend connectivity, how your API is robust, and how you are handling the error as well. So this is the 3-4 category which is covered in it's covered itself by solving this question. So and services company love this pattern. They are mostly API calling activity happens most of the time, so they love the fetch word. Okay, so what approach we are taking over here? First we'll create a mock API function that randomly fails. Okay, so what we'll do, we will first create a mock API, and this will be created by on mock a function that randomly fails. Okay, next what will you do? We will write a retry wrapper. Okay, which retry having the limiter of the attempts, and will try hitting the API if it's under the limiter. So and then the third is the use async await for the API call and not third, and yes, and the fourth one is delay between retry. We're not hitting back to back. Okay, there is a 1 second delay between every API hit. Okay, now let's it is a very little bit complex, we can say, code, so we are not going to write any pseudocode for this. We directly jump on the coding part. Okay, so let us start. First, what you have to make, we have to make a custom wait function. So custom of 1 second, because you have to wait for 1 second between each API call, right? So make a custom wait function of 1 second. So now we are expert in making a custom wait function, right? We had to make a lot of custom wait function in our previous episode. So this is what will this will return. What this will do? This will return new promise, and then it's resolve. What resolve? It's resolve set time out resolve, and then by milliseconds as a what we provide as a parameter over here. So this is the our wait function. Now we have to make a mock API function which fail randomly. Okay, sometimes pass, sometimes fail. So we have to make this one as well. So this is a mock API which fails randomly. It's fail randomly. It's fail randomly. Okay. Now let's write down the function as well. Function fake API. Fake API. What this will do? This will return a new promise which having a resolve and reject, and then the interesting part begins. So what fails it randomly. So this part is very interesting. So what we are going to do, we are going to take a math dot random JavaScript, and if we greater than 0.7, it's an in decimal value. If it is greater than 0.7, sometimes become 0.8, sometimes become 0.6. So in this way it will behave method random. So if it randomly get greater than 0.7, it's true, and if it sometimes get less than 0.7, it's false. So in this way it switch between resolve and reject. Okay, resolve, otherwise failed. Fine. Now our custom fake API is ready, which fails randomly. Time to write our main functions with a retry. So it's a async function. Okay. Now let the function name will call with retry and give an attempt of 3 by default. If you don't pass anything, the default attempt will be 3. Now make a loop on the retry. So for let I equal to 1, I less than retry or less than or equal to retries and I plus plus. Make some more space over here. So loop is started. Now let's console dot log to keep track of how many attempts we did. Now to handle error, what we use, always try and catch. So if it fails within, then it will go to the catch area, and where we have to write our logics to wait and then wait for another try. Okay, try. Now try, what we'll do, we'll call our fake API first. Using await because fake API is returning a promise. Fake API now. Log. If it returns the result, if it's returning success, it's resolved, then it returns success. So we'll log the result and then return the result. Result. What I did? The result. Catch error. Catch error. Now, if it fails for somehow and reject get returned from the fake API, then go to the catch section, and here if still we have to retry left. Retry is left. Then what you do? Wait for, call the custom wait function for. Don't do anything, just wait for 1 second. After 1 second, what will happen? Next iteration will start. So this will pause the loop for the 1 second, and after that next iteration will start. So again, wait for 1 second, and go to another iteration, check the retry left, go into this, call again. If it's success, do this, otherwise come here, check this one. If it's still left, wait for 1 second, and like this. Okay, so what we have to do now, come out of this loop. If nothing returned from this loop and success, then we have to return failed and return failed also. Okay, now it's time to run the function. So let's start the function. So to start the function, what we'll call is just call the function at the bottom. Okay, Control V, and this will run. Look, this got success in just 2 attempts with a 1 second of delay. This call this function again. Attempt 2, attempt 2, attempt 3, success. And in the first 2 attempts it got success, but in second one, after even after 3 attempts, it's failed. So this is demonstrating how it is triggering itself 3 times. It retries 3 times, and if it is not get succeeded, it will return fail even after running 3 attempts. So this is how this is demonstrating the retry of our question, that API retry logic with limited attempts. So in this way you can apply the limit for the failed trials. Okay, now so now the variation might be like, currently it's a delay of 1 second, so you can make it on the parameter basis. So currently it's a hard coded, you can make it params based, and you make it for, if you pass 2 seconds, then it will wait for 2 seconds between the 2 API call, consecutive API calls, like this, 4 seconds and whatever. And then another variation comes in mind is that make this, instead of 3 try, you can make it infinite. Make it infinite until and unless I invoke a stop command. Okay, so it will keep calling itself after 3 seconds, keep calling, or 1 second, keep calling. And if I want to stop this one, I just click that any of the action button, and this will stop this execution. So this is the another variation you can try of. Or one more variation you can try of, you can try here catch, you can check for the error code. If error code is particularly 404 or 401 or 500, whatever. So if you're getting particular error code, then only you hit another API call. Otherwise, let it be whatever it is. So these are the 2-3 variations. So yeah, you can try by yourself. If you want, I can make that video on those variation also. Please pin down in the comment section. So I will solve together and show you how this variation works and how to solve this variation altogether. So yeah, that was the question related to the async behavior of JavaScript. If you have any query concern, just write down the comment. I will try to solve this. Okay, and done. We are done with our second problem statement. Now let's go to the third problem statement, which is polyfill. So let's delete this one. No needed. Now, the third problem statement is the third and the last is polyfill for Promise.race. Yes, you heard it right. We are going to create a polyfill for Promise.race for this. And if I hope you know what Promise.race is doing when we call. Okay. So what Promise.race do, it returns a promise that resolve or reject as soon as the first promise settled. Okay. So what this is do, just I write it down. The code for writing this is the promise dot race and iterable. Iterable means on which we can make a loop through. Okay. So it returns a promise that resolved or rejects as soon as the first promise settles. Look, there is a difference between settles and resolve or reject. Okay, in settles, both condition included, resolve or reject, not just resolve. Settle doesn't mean resolve. Settle means either resolved or reject. Okay, so don't confuse with settles and resolve. They both are same thing. No, they're totally different thing. Not different, but it's include both, either resolve or reject. This means this API call gets settled. This fetch call gets the promise settled, right? Now, why the company asked this question? So they want to know that you are clear with the promise resolution. Okay, you know how promise work behind the scene, how you know how the parallel execution work, if there are multiple API calls, how they are tackling each other, and what is the settling logic, how when they are settled. Okay, and you know the proper chaining, when to call which one, what call before and what call after that, and you know the proper sequence of the promise, calling of the promise. So the pseudocode over is how we are going to make a polyfill of the race is, first we create create a new promise. Then for each item in iterable is basically a array which holding, or any iterable which holding the multiple promises. Okay, set of promises. So we wrap first anything or anything, but if it is not a promise, we'll wrap in a promise and make it a promise. Okay, wrap item in promise dot wrap in promise dot resolve, and then we resolve outer promise and catch reject outer either it's resolve or either it's reject, right? So we need to take care of both, which only settled first. Either resolve or either reject. So this is the polyfill. Now let's write the code. Code is pretty simple. Look, what you need to create a promise. We have to make our own race. Okay, so we need to write directly on the promise my race and function. We get iterables promises holding multiple promises, and then return. It will return, as we said, it will return new promise. It will return new promise. It will take two argument, resolve or reject. Okay, and then now what we have to do for each item in iterable, wrap it into promise.resolve. So promises, and now we're looping through the each promises and pushing to the resolve. If it resolve, then resolve. If it not resolve, reject. We're having some error, reject. So this will call up parallel promises. Time to call this function. So what we are doing here is we are returning a new promise, okay, which is having the two arguments, resolve and reject. And in this one, we are again running a loop on the all of the iterables, all the promises we get inside this promise iterable, and making a promise to resolve, calling the promise, resolve or reject. Whichever of these promise gets settled first, either resolve or reject, will return. Okay, so for example, if so const p1 is equal to new promise response set timeout resolved. This is resolve. What this will resolve task 1 after 300 millisecond. Make one more promise 2, new promise. This will resolved. Set timeout resolve task 2 after 100 millisecond. Okay, fine. Then what I need to do is call our function promise dot my race. This is our iterable p1. We're passing two promise to one more thing p3 equal to, sorry, it's not a promise. Okay, and p3 dot then log. Okay, this always settle first. You see, this always settle first, because this will take 300 millisecond, this will take 100 millisecond, and this is nothing. It's just a promise resolved as soon as it gets called, it resolved immediately. Now, you know, we are just converting this to a From here, we converting from wrapping in the promise to resolve. This will always become a promise and resolve as soon as it get called. So this settled first. So you see the first settled one, the race condition. Only first settled will return either it's resolved or either it reject. Doesn't matter. Now just remove this one from here and remove from here as well. And now see task 2. Now this get resolved first because it just call after 100 millisecond and this is calling after 300 millisecond, though this is settled first. So now in this way we demonstrate the our custom race. Okay, this is how the polyfill of custom race function. Okay, now you got an idea how it's working behind the scene. So variations should be, now we can create a variation of promise.any. Try by yourself, promise.any. This is the overall 3 problem we work together for this episode. So this is the number 4 episode now. This is the end of the episode 4 of JavaScript machine coding round. Hope you like this video, and then if you like, just like, comment and subscribe to see you in the episode number 5, because again, coding is just not the skill, it's a hobby for us. Okay, bye, see you, keep coding, keep growing, see you next time, bye bye.